If the internet goes down, what will you do? You've experienced it, little bits at a time, maybe for longer extended periods. And what did you do? If you require the internet for your work, to access your money, to connect with people who are important to you, then that will feel like a great loss. That will put you likely into a sense of panic and concern. So what can you do about that in advance to prepare for it? Because it's going to happen. Hi, and welcome back. It's October the 22nd, 2025. I just heard a very loud crow. We came for we had to do a bunch of things, and so we figured we would go for a quick walk, and ended up finding this cool little trail that's taken us back to, well, who knows where it's ended. I don't know, but it is the prettiest little trail that we just have driven along. It seems to be now. One of the things that is very important for everyone to do, regardless if the internet goes down or not, it's to be prepared mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, however you resonate with preparedness. But the key is to take action and steps having considered all of the possibilities and options available to you and things that could potentially happen. You're not willing them to happen, you're not expecting them to happen, but you're prepared if they do. And it's so important to have this level of awareness, to engage in these conversations with yourselves and others, so that you have a plan that others know that you have. And also, you know their plans as well, especially for the supports and people that you will rely on. Because you will need to connect with others outside of this illusionary void that we connect to each other on. And I do believe that when the internet goes down for any length of time, that's when the real parts of ourselves come out. The people who have leaned into this false sense of self, the inflated version of themselves that they've been able to manipulate and create. But when you're really having to step into who you are in the face of a crisis, in the face of what you see as a crisis, what do you do? Do you just cower and fret and worry to a point where you are inactive? Or do you take a moment to take in what's happening, and knowing that you've thought about this in advance and you've taken steps to prepare as much as you can for the event, you then put your plan into place. And emergency preparedness is a thing that we've been trained in the Matrix to expect. And so many people will say it's fear-mongering, and it is to put us always on a state of edge that something is going to happen and we need to rely outside of ourselves for someone to save us, to trust in, all of these things. And at the same time, what it has done is it has introduced us to the fact that there are things that we cannot control that happen, and that we find comfort in having prepared, planned for, put in place things to make any challenge that comes our way easier to move through. It doesn't remove risk. It doesn't remove the fact that it's going to be challenging or difficult. It just aids in your getting through it. So how can that hurt? How can that hurt? Oh. And the crows think that, seriously, get on it. In the past few days, I've had very little internet. So I haven't been able to post. I have been troubleshooting it. And it continues to create interruptions. And it's funny because I was raised in a time when there was no internet. So I lived before the internet. I was born in 1970 and I lived before the internet. I lived in a time when we literally would go outside at the beginning of the day and not come home till dark. And if you got a phone call or you wanted to talk to someone, you had to stand in one place until there was cordless phones where you could actually move about. And wow, we thought that was something. So I know how freeing it is to not have a device that allows access to everyone, to anything at all times. I also have an awareness of what it's like to connect in different ways, being very intuitive, and how I've had to learn how to even shut that off and to manage the energy that has access to me, when it has access to me, or if it even has access to me. And so I think that that is so important right now. And this is continually coming up for me in my dreams, in my actual daily experiences, and also in the messaging that's being presented on different platforms and in different ways by different channels, but also in scientifically engaged communities have said the same thing forever. At some point, the internet will go down. And along with it will all of these structures that we have built to make our lives easier. Online banking, community chat rooms, access to information at the moment's notice. All of these things. If you find that you worry when you hear things like that, the worry comes from the lack of preparedness, the lack of having done something to be organized and to have considered and thought of ways that you could address this situation that would help you to feel more at ease should it happen. Fear and anxiety and panic and stress comes from that space of unknown, not knowing, not having even thought about it, being surprised by it, by something occurring that you weren't anticipating. But if you have thought about it and you have prepared yourself and you've taken steps to print documents that you need to have handy, and if you need it online, make sure that you also have a saved copy that you could access somewhere else. Have an emergency prepared kit like we've talked about before. It doesn't have to be overboard, but a few things, right? Some water, some food, some medical supplies. Who knows what is going to happen? But if you have that, there's a comfort in knowing that you've already done that. You've taken care of that. You're going to be okay. And if the internet or things go down for a longer period of time, make sure you know your neighbors. Make sure that you have a way to communicate with others who you can trust, who will support you and you can support them. Take steps. That's what preparedness is all about. It's not assuming it's going to happen, but it's being ready if it does. You've got one foot in the right direction. Thanks for watching, everyone. And until next time, stay safe and stay connected, and we'll see you really soon. Bye.